A Perfect Mistake, Chapter 12, Puzzles. At school the next day, Miss Little has a bunch of words written on the board in a grid, like a crossword. Some of them are vertical and some of them are horizontal, but they all intersect. It looks kind of cool, but I don't know how I'm going to focus on class today. All I can think about is that bottle at the roundhouse, how it was just sitting there in the pit, how it came from Joey's house. We didn't bring it there, meaning me or Joey or Will, but someone did. And that someone was probably Jared. Jared, who made fun of us all the time. Jared, who led us into the woods. Jared, who made Joey drink the alcohol from their dad's bottle with the red horseshoe label. I know what I think. Something else happened that night. Something Joey hasn't told me. Something no one is talking about. We have to say something, Sam whispers. My neck goes hot. Not here. Joey hunched over in the bathtub, writing as fast as he could. Joey's hunched over in the bathtub, writing as fast as he can, while Miss Little circles the room, checking our notebooks. If he hears us talking about this, I'm dead. Sam leans closer. The police need to know about this. Would you stop? I whisper. He could hear you. Sam leans back, but she's not going to give up. When I pointed out the bottle at the roundhouse, she wanted to call the police, but I didn't know for sure that it was Jared's. He had a backpack with him, but I never saw what was in it. What am I supposed to say to the police? That I think a bottle in the pit belongs to Joey's dad, but I have no idea how it got there or if it's really his? Miss Little circles past the couches and the beanbag chairs. The closer she gets, the faster I spin my fidget ring. When I was drawing in the super van, I felt good, but now I'm not so sure. We were supposed to write in our notebooks. All I have is a few pages of messy sketches. Part of me thinks I should hide my notebook and say I forgot it, but I don't want to hide my work. I'm just afraid to share it. Last year, when I got my ADHD diagnosis, my 5th grade English teacher had a hard time believing it. She didn't understand how a student as gifted as me could need accommodations. My therapist says people with ADHD can be brilliant and still have a hard time accessing their knowledge, but my teacher thought maybe I just needed to try harder. She kept saying I should slow down and use my planner during our parent-teacher conference, until I finally shouted, I know what you want me to do, I just can't do it. That shut everyone up. But what if Miss Little says I need to try harder too? I could try as hard as I want, but I still operate according to a different manual. Miss Little walks up to Sam, who eagerly turns her pages, showing off a ridiculous amount of neat blue handwriting. Miss Little murmurs something, and Sam nods with a secret little smile. Then she folds down the corners on her pages and shuts her notebook. I'm so busy watching Sam that I don't notice Miss Little standing beside me until she says, Max? I jump halfway out of my skin, and she smiles, Ready? Behind her, Joey laughs with Cam and Elijah. I try to ignore them and open my notebook. A century passes while Miss Little looks at my pages. When she's done, I force myself to look at her eyes. Dr. W says it's okay not to make eye contact, but people like it because it makes them feel like I'm listening, even though I can listen fine without it. Miss Little's face is very still. She's wearing tiny cat earrings today. I know I'm in trouble. I could practically see her adding me to the list of disappointing kids in her head. Instead, she says, You're very talented, Max. My face goes hot. My uncle's van is a mess. She nods like I'm making perfect sense. I would love to see you pair your illustrations with the written line about what you're thinking. Does that sound good to you? I hear the word illustrations, and I'm back down the rabbit hole I fell into at breakfast when I was trying to figure out the best way to use our tablet to draw. We don't have one of those fancy pens, but I think it's the best way to do it. I just have to figure out which pen. Max, Miss Little says. Whoops, I was supposed to answer that. Yeah, I could do that. After Miss Little leaves, I lean over to Sam. She's pretty cool. Sam nods, but she doesn't look at me. Joey sees me talking to Sam and makes a kissy face. Great. I ignore him while Miss Little reads Wolf and the Snow, which is a picture book without words. You might wonder how you read a book without words, but the answer is pretty simple. We look at the pictures and talk about them. Miss Little says the key to learning is making connections. We ask questions to find answers. We're going to do the same thing in our writer's notebook, using crossword notes for the books we're reading. Writing down the words that stand out can help you identify the themes in the story, Miss Little says. The themes are the main ideas the author is talking about. Any ideas about what a theme might be for Wolf in the Snow? Friendship, someone says. Sam raises her hand. Family. Adventure? Another voice calls out. Danger, Joey says, seeming to surprise himself. Miss Little writes these words on the board to form another crossword. These are all great examples of themes. I'd like you to use this crossword exercise in your writer's notebook to explore themes in your independent reading this week. And let's see what you find. I like this idea. It sounds easier than trying to write a paragraph. I can list a lot of words before I even have to decide which ones count the most. I could do that. While Miss Little talks, I start a crossword in my notebook. It has my name and Will's. Joey, Luca, and Jared. I add question marks around the names. I still don't know how Will got hurt, but something else happened that night. Something I'm going to find out. It's time to see Miss Chen again. This time she has a brown paper bag on her desk next to a partially eaten apple. The edges of the apple are turning brown, which grosses me out. It's also a little colder in her office. Her air conditioner doesn't whir on and off. It's just blasting. Hello, Max, Miss Chen says. She flips to a new page of her yellow notepad. How are you feeling today? Things going all right in your classes? Things are good. How are you sleeping? Okay, I rub my eye. It's itchy from not sleeping much last night. She watches me closely like I'm a puzzle she's determined to figure out. Any trouble with friends? I shrug. She waits. Are you going to keep asking me the same questions until you get an answer? That's the general plan, but it's up to you to let me help you. She's right, but if I tell Miss Chen what I'm thinking, which is that Joey's older brother took the bottle with the red horseshoe to the roundhouse, and that he obviously didn't tell anyone about it, Miss Chen will go straight to Joey to ask him. And all Joey has to do is lie, and I end up with both Joey and Jared officially mad at me. It's not that I don't want to tell Miss Chen what I'm thinking. I'd just rather not get my butt kicked. No, everything's good with my friends. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Not really. She sighs and clicks her pen shut. Want to beat me in Uno again?